Hey guys! So today's art lesson is a super fun one. We are going to be using some materials in kind of a new way. They're materials you already know how to use, but it's kind of a new fun way to use these materials, and it's going to make a really cool abstract painting. So remember that abstract is something that doesn't really look like anything specific. So for example, when you do a painting of a house, we call it a painting of a house, right? Or if you do a drawing of a person, you would call it a drawing of a person. But if you do a drawing or a painting or a sculpture or something that is just shapes or designs, we call that abstract. So it doesn't really have an actual name, but it's still artwork and it's still really cool looking. So today's fun artwork, you're going to be using some yarn and some paints and some other things, and it ends up being really fun. It's a little messy, but super cool. Hopefully you give it a try today. Okay, so for today's artwork, you're going to need some paper, some paints, some yarn. I used a paintbrush to apply my paints to my yarn, and then I had paper towel underneath to keep it from getting on the table, and I used some scissors to cut the yarn. So the first thing you're going to do is you're actually going to fold your paper in half, and then I pushed it to the side so that I could get my yarn ready. So it doesn't really matter which way to fold it in half. I liked hamburger way. I'm sure you could do it the other way too. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 3 pieces of yarn because I'm going to have 3 different colors on mine, and I don't want my colors to mix. I suppose you could have your colors mixed. It's totally up to you. You can have as many colors as you want. I'm going to start with 3, and then what you're going to do is you are going to take your yarn and you are going to cover it with paint. I left the very end of it without paint so that I could hold it and pull it, because I'm going to be pulling it in just a second. So all I did was take some paint, and then I just kind of covered all of the yarn so that it had paint all over it. You could potentially also dunk this, I suppose, but if you have too much paint on it, it actually doesn't work very well, so that's why I used the paintbrush approach. So cover the whole thing with paint. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your yarn and you're gonna put it on your paper any way you want. You can just let it swirl or sit straight. And then you need to close your paper. And next what you need to do is put a book on top and then pull your yarn out. So the book is to help put pressure on it, and when you open it, it makes some super cool designs. So I'm going to do this again with other colors. So you can repeat this as many times as you want, basically putting paint on the yarn, close your paper, put a book on it, and pull it out. You do want to put a little pressure on the book so that it kind of squishes the paint out. Okay, so this was my final painting. I only did 3 colors. You could do as many colors as you want. You could just do 1 color. Sometimes they're really beautiful just with 1 color. I kind of like how they overlapped and how I got different shapes. Again, you're going to cover your yarn with paint, and then you put your paint in between your yarn in between the 2 pieces of paper, and then you need something like a book or a piece of cardboard or something to be able to put even pressure on top of your paper, and you're going to push down while you pull out your string, and then it's going to make these super cool designs. Hopefully you give this a try today. Good luck.